Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. If we could have everybody take their seats, we will get started. We'll give everybody just a minute to get to their seats here. Jay Snyder, thank you for sitting down. Victor, sit down. Okay, where's Wendy? Can I get a whistle? There we go. Got a couple whistles out there. You know it's a Nampa Chamber event when you get the whistle. My job is just to try to get us a little bit quiet. We'll have some people kind of trickling in after they get food and make their way to their seats, but out of respect for your time, we're going to get started. This is awesome, amazing, awesome, full, and we're super excited to partner with the mayor and the mayor's office for the state of the city. So we're going to get started with the program. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce my friend, and she's also the chairman of the Nampa Chamber Board. Please help me welcome Jean Mucci.
Good morning, close to afternoon. Hi, Don Wixom. It's kind of like a family reunion. It's actually super cool. Mitch isn't super tall, but he's apparently taller than me. I had to move the mic. Like centimeter. Thank you. Welcome. I think I tell you guys every time that this chamber's luncheon's my favorite, but I really think this one is. It's our first one back together, so welcome back. I hope you all had an amazing summer. But we also today get to hear from our distinguished, incredible mayor, Mayor Debbie Kling, about the state of the city of Nampa. And I'm very glad you're all here to hear that. I want to cover a couple quick thank yous before we get started. So if you are a Nampa Chamber Board member, ambassador, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. There are so many volunteer hours that go into the service that board members and ambassadors provide. So I want to thank those of you who are employers for dedicating your time, and for those of you who employ employees who serve, thank you for the generous time that you allow for them to serve. It's a really small chamber team. I'm going to ask Mitch, Jill, Mac, Candy, and Chelsea to stand. They're all over the place, but there are only 3 who serve full-time and 2 part-time, and they make all of this incredible work happen. And serving on the board, it's really eye-opening when we've been kind of looking at some downturn in economic times to see the vitality of the Nampa Chamber. So what we continue to tell Mitch and the team is there's clearly a value proposition, and I think how many of you are filling this room and into the lobby today demonstrates that greatly, so thank you again. I would like to invite President Pearsall to come up and join me. He's going to lead us in the pledge and the prayer, but we have a really neat opportunity today to have the honor guard from the Nampa Police Department and the Nampa Fire District come up, and when you stand, we'd like to invite you to stand until the conclusion of the prayer. They're going to come up, hold flags here. President Pearsall will lead us in the pledge. They will post, then they'll head out when the music stops. He'll lead us in the prayer. So please stand at attention and join us.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in prayer. Loving God, we pause to say thank you, for we are a blessed people. We are privileged to live in the United States of America and grateful to live in Idaho in the city of Nampa. And we give thanks for the way that you provide for us on a daily basis, even caring for our physical needs and providing food as you have done even now. And so be with us in this time. We pray blessing on those who serve us in the city government, and we pray blessing on Nampa. We pray it in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Okay. Thank you, President Pearsall. As he said in his blessing, I think we are privileged to live in Nampa. And Mayor, I love that we still live in a city where we can kick off our meeting in the state of the city with a prayer and the pledge and the honor guard. And so we are blessed for that. So yes. As Jean mentioned, we are kind of like family. I see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces. The Nampa Chamber continues to grow. I did want to just recognize a couple of quick friends and sponsors, and then we'll get on to the mayor's State of the City. Brand new, he's been in his job for 3 weeks, but a new face, a new director to the Caldwell Chamber joined us today. So please help me welcome my friend Travis Palmer over here at the Caldwell Chamber. And then I know they're running around out there somewhere, but Jose and Mari with the Idaho Hispanic Chamber are also here. So please thank you for being here. If we had time, we would go through and recognize everybody, but I always like to take the opportunity to brag on our strategic partners. Throughout the year, we lean on them for vision and strategy and resources and so forth. And so if you know anybody that works at these companies, please continue to thank them for what they're doing for the Nampa Chamber. I saw Amalgamated Sugar, Jason and the team are down here. St. Alphonsus, I saw Clinton, Robin, St. Luke's, Brenda and Jean, Wells Fargo, Corey and the team over here, Idaho Central Credit Union. I know Jeff and Rachel and the team are here, Autovol, Rick and Merrick. And Amazon, Sadir, and the team. So please give them a round of applause and thank any of them you know. As Jean mentioned, the Chamber's been busy throughout the summer, but we paused on our luncheons, and so many of you were with us in this room in May when we did Leadership Nampa and some awards and so forth. So it's nice to be back as a big group and community. Lots of things going on in our community, and the Chamber's happy to be part of those. The dessert that's in front of you, you saw the signs on your table, but I wanted to do a shout out to Kelly and Robin and the team from Serve Pro. Thank you for sponsoring our dessert. And there's 0 calories when they're networking calories, so eat up. So thank you to Serve Pro. Okay, last little bit of business. We want to recognize some of our new members. So Chelsea, you want to come up and brag on some of our new members. So please help me welcome Chelsea Johnson.
Hello, it's so nice to see all of you. So I'm Chelsea Johnson. I'm the Director of Business Success for the Nampa Chamber. And I just want to go through the new members that have joined the Chamber since May. It's been a pretty busy summer. So you can see their logos here on the screens in front of you. If you work or are associated with one of these businesses, will you please stand up so we can see you? We won't have a networking break today just because we have such a full program. We want to make sure that we get to see those new members at the end and get to connect with them. So. Epic Development, Jersey Mike's, Ina Zarapova Consulting, Idaho Gun School, A+ Drain Cleaning and Plumbing, Nampa Fire District, Nova Tax Consultant, Up Hero, Spotlight 360 Virtual Tours, Keystone Physical Medicine, Revolution Fitness, The Shop Men's Grooming, Bank of America, Economic Opportunity by Janice, All American Bookkeeping Services, Strategic Wealth Designs, My Place Hotel, Alaya Boutique, Karcher Auto Body, Comparison Insurance, Golden Medical Aesthetics, Mertz Insurance Group, Malad Tree Farm, Bimoto LLC, Tan Republic, Sherry Arcouche Realtor, Idaho Gun and Outdoors, Sugar Fix Properties, Halcyon Infusions and Therapeutics, Sunny Slope Wine Trail, Northwest Commercial Advisors, Boise Beauty Boards, Trash King LLC, Waterstone Mortgage, Citywide Facility Solutions of Idaho, that's a long one, Fox Box Donuts. If you are here with any of these companies today, we just say thank you. We're really excited to have you as part of the family, and we look forward to your participation in the Chamber.
Awesome. I think that's I was counting, I think that's 38 new companies in the last 90 days. So don't let anybody tell you that Nampa's not a great place to live, work, and play. The community's growing like crazy, so we're excited about those new members and that growth. Okay, we're going to keep moving forward. If you've been to chamber events before, you know we like to start on time and end on time. So we're going to stick to that tradition. I did just want to say again a public thank you. This is the last you have to hear from me until the very end. But I just wanted to say it's great to see everybody in here. I'm looking out amongst friends, and Nampa is a great place to live and work. I'm super excited to hear from Mayor today. I think it was last year was the first year since I've been to the chamber we brought back in the state of the city being aligned with the chamber luncheon. It's exciting. I just wanted to say to some of your friends that maybe aren't sitting in here, we have people that are watching online, and we have actually even people in the overflow. This event sold out in like 10 days. Thank you for the patience for those that weren't able to sit and join us today. It is being broadcasted live stream, thanks to Amy and her team. So be watching for that also. You can push that out to employees and friends. I think at this time, my job is to introduce Mayor's Teen Council group, Alma, Benton, and Chloe, and they're going to come up and transition us to the next part of our program. So please help me welcome Mayor's Teen Council.
Good afternoon. My name is Alma Azocar Agurto, and I'm a senior at Skyview High School. As Vice President of the Nampa Mayor's Teen Council, please allow me to welcome you to Nampa's 2023 State of the City Address. Thank you also to those who are joining us online.
My name is Benton Bernard. I'm a senior at Victory Charter School. Thank you again to the Nampa Police Department and the Fire District for presenting the colors and to President Pearsall for the invocation.
My name is Chloe Knight, and I'm a senior at Columbia High School and a member of the Mayor's Teen Council. We would like to thank the many generous sponsors who helped support the Nampa State of the City this year. A portion of their donation benefits the Mayor's Teen Council. Our title sponsor this year is Republic Services. Republic Services has been keeping Nampa clean through trash removal for over 40 years and has a short video to share.
We would also like to thank our presenting sponsors: Bank of Idaho, CapEd Credit Union, HDR, Saucer's Health and Intermountain Healthcare, St. Alphonsus, Select Health, St. Luke's, and TDS Fiber.
Thank you to our supporting sponsors, Clarity Credit Union, Jacobs, and Idaho Power.
Finally, we would like to thank the Nampa Chamber of Commerce, International Minute Press, Elsberg Studios, and the Nampa Civic Center for their additional support of this event.
The Nampa City Council is a vital part of the city of Nampa, and we would like to ask the council members attending today to please stand. As a reminder, the Nampa City Council will now be elected by districts. If you live in Nampa Council Districts 2, 4, or 6, please remember to vote by November 7th. Districts 1, 3, and 5 will be elected in November of 2025. Early voting is also available through November 3rd at the former Hispanic Cultural Center of Idaho. Visit city's website for more information.
We would also like to recognize any other elected officials in the audience who may be serving in an elected city, county, or state agency. Please stand so we may recognize you.
We would also like to recognize the many volunteers on various boards and commissions within the city of Nampa. Nampa is at its best when its residents are helping to shape decisions. If you are currently serving, would you please stand and be recognized?
Thank you again for attending Nampa's 2023 State of the City Address. Without further ado, it is now our pleasure to introduce Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling.
Great job. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. So good to see you. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You did such a great job. It is so good to be back. Oh my goodness. You know, as Jean said and Mitch, it's like a homecoming. This is like family. And so it is so wonderful to see you all. So thank you for joining us today. You know, I was just thinking about, there is so much to say, and there are so many people that we could recognize. As I watched people come in the room and I looked at the tables and the sponsors and the individuals here, there are so many people doing amazing things. And I would love to be able to recognize almost individually, but I can't today, unfortunately. And even certain departments that we won't even touch on today. So, you know, I will say, and I'm off script, Amy. So I think I've got time to be off script for just a minute. So I'm trying to stay on script today so that we can be fast and get through this. But I watched last year's State of the City. It was, to me, it was kind of long, and I'm like, oh my goodness. It's so hard to present at a State of the City because there's so much to share, and yet it can get boring, right? I don't want to put you guys to sleep. And so we've tried to pull it all in here in a certain fashion, but there's so much that isn't being shared, that is being done, because there's so much being done. Okay, so I'm going to get on script. Here we go. Let's say, good afternoon and welcome to Nampa's 2023 State of the City. It is always wonderful to join this Nampa Chamber Luncheon. I'm so glad to be back wherever Mitch is. And I do love getting to see everyone. So you know what? I am thankful for all the amazing people in our community. And I want to say specifically thank you to Mitch Minetti and your staff for the amazing work that you do, and to the board and the leadership within the chamber. You know, we are truly blessed to have the team of leaders we have in the chamber and in our entire community. So as I get started, I have two things I want to do. One is I want to thank my family for being here. I have an amazing family. Family, do you want to stand up? Sorry, I'll just have you do it. My husband is unable to stand, but I just want to say these are some of my kids. Not everyone was able to make it because of the flu and work, that kind of thing, but I have 3 children, 10 grandchildren, and 1 great grandchild. That is crazy, but it's real. So, and it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. So I appreciate my family. I dearly love them and appreciate them, and I appreciate their support. So I also want to thank everyone employed within the city of Nampa. You know, they do amazing work, and I am so proud of our team. We have, and you know what? As citizens, you should be proud of our team, and I know you don't know them all, but we have amazing leaders, we have amazing employees doing great work, and I am extremely proud of them. To the employees that are here, I value the work that you do to make Nampa a safe and healthy community. Some of our departments are not being mentioned today. And so last time I mentioned a number of departments that won't be mentioned today, so I just want you to know I appreciate you all and the great work that you do. So thank you. So as we dig in to the state of the city, I think I want to say, first of all, for the past 6 years we've done a survey. And we talked about this last year. The respondents to our survey the responses have been very consistent, and they've identified infrastructure, which includes street maintenance and reducing traffic congestion, public safety, and economic vitality as high priorities. So with this in mind, the City of Nampa, we've been updating our strategic initiatives to identify clear, transparent, and measurable goals that align city expenditures and outcomes with community-identified priorities. Those key initiatives are maintaining a safe and healthy community, improving movement in and through Nampa, creating economic opportunities, and excellence in city government. So be watching, because we're going to be posting our progress on these goals throughout the coming year on our website. You know, it's important to have measurable goals. And so we're going there, and you'll get to see how we're doing with all of them. Okay, so what did we get done this last year? So for the past 7 years, the City of Nampa has been named the best run city in the US by Wallet Hub. And it's based on a number of metrics, one of which, and it's a weighted average, I think, which is per capita spending. And our city council is actually responsible. One of their jobs is budget. And so they are to be commended, because they are the ones that are making sure that we are good stewards, right? And that we stay within that budget. But every year with Wallet Hub, it makes me nervous. I said this last year. Those of you that were here will remember, it makes me nervous, because when you're no longer #1 in the US as the best run city, after 7 years running, that is a scary thought, because any number of things could kick us out. But you know what, it's an honor to have that. So another thing that we got done, and I'm really pleased to say, that we purchased Centennial and Ridgecrest Golf Course. We actually closed on that. I see an applause being thought about down here. So in 1983, the City of Nampa leased land from the state of Idaho, and we began to build the Centennial Golf Course. And for those of you that were here, you know what it was like. It's the tractors and everybody coming together to build those golf courses. And then with the popularity of golf, it was in 1990 that we leased additional land to build Ridgecrest Golf Course. So the combined area of both golf courses is just under 500 acres. And our golf courses are self-sustaining, and we're pleased that we have the opportunity to protect Nampa's golf courses for generations to come. I'm excited to have gotten that done, and it's a big deal for our community. So. You know, approximately 45,000, a little over 45,000 rounds of golf were played at Centennial, and just under 60,000 rounds of golf were played at Ridgecrest. That's a lot. And now that we own the golf courses, we're able to do some of the maintenance that needs to be done, one of which is getting the parking lot redone at Centennial. We're going to be getting 60 new golf carts at Centennial, and this winter we're going to do a clubhouse remodel at Centennial. And then in the near future, hopefully we have a golf simulator out there, so that'll be exciting. And then for Ridgecrest, it's not exciting, but it's expensive. We're going to be working on a well. So that'll get done this next year. We're also working on a golf master plan. We're working on master plans for our golf courses and our entire park system. And these are long-range plans that are not currently funded, but we are planning and trying to look to the future. Lakeview Park, we're also creating a master plan. And I just want to say, there we go. Thank you to all that have participated in a focus group and shared feedback on those surveys. Did you know Nampa has 27 parks? We have over 15 miles of maintained pathways. And the Harvard Rec Center, which is such a wonderful recreation center, actually had over 500,000 people through those doors this last year. They have over 10,000 memberships and over 16,000 members there at the Harvard Rec Center, which is a wonderful place. We have an amazing Parks and Recreation Department with programs and amenities that serve our community well. I appreciate their efforts. And as part of the master plan process, we've surveyed citizens for input on programming, parks, amenities, golf courses, and more. Our goal is to provide amenities in our existing parks so that our citizens can enjoy life right here in Nampa. Lakeview Park, that I mentioned last year, located off of Garrity and 16th, is one of our oldest parks. And we had talked last year about getting a new playground. It's done, it's beautiful, and it has accessibility features that are amazing. Then Midway Park. Midway Park offers 4 baseball, softball fields, pickleball courts, basketball, futsal, outdoor fitness gym, picnic shelter, half-mile fitness trail. Sorry, I'm going on and on because there's a lot that's out there, and it's an amazing park. And it has the new splash pad, as Orb Brandt got, which I'm going to, I think, in a minute, got one last year. Midway Park got the splash pad this year. And then there are future phases in Midway Park that are going to be coming in, starting in the summer of 2024. So as funding comes available, we'll be adding to these parks, but they're amazing, amazing. Orb Brandt Park is located near Cherry and Franklin, and it is another wonderful park serving the north side of Nampa. Last year we opened the splash pad and a beautiful playground, again with accessibility features in it. So a child in a wheelchair can actually go enjoy that park, the playground area. So coming soon, we're gonna have an additional shelter by the playground. We're gonna have a basketball court, 6 pickleball courts, completion of a pathway loop, picnic shelter, and food truck parking. So I think the people that live in that area are gonna absolutely love it. And that's starting in the summer of 2024. And then Nampa's second dog park. Okay, so the community named the dog park Huckleberry Dog Park. My dog goes huckleberry picking with me, and he loves huckleberries. He does it really well. It's amazing. So it's funny that they named the park Huckleberry Dog Park. I didn't have any say in it, but anyway, there we go. So it is off of Smith, between Midway and Middleton Roads, and the park was mostly paid for by impact fees, and it's scheduled to open in the spring. It was scheduled to open this fall, but we needed to get the grass actually really rooted before we opened it up, so it'll be opening in the spring. And you know what? Even if you don't have a dog, great place to go walk and enjoy somebody else's dog. So that's maybe the best fix. Anyway, okay, so this next photo is a photo from last year of where we were with our wastewater treatment plant upgrades. I'm pleased to say, and we can go to the next phase, this is where we are today. A ton of work has been done. And I'm so pleased to say that construction is still on time and it's within budget. You know what, considering the price of goods, the supply chain issues that we all face, it's something that we can be very proud of, that we're on time and within budget. It's an over $200 million project that's been overseen by our Citizen Design Review Committee. We formed that committee to ensure that as we walked through the design, the consulting, and the construction phase, that we would be good stewards. And so I greatly appreciate the commitment of this committee and our amazing team. And I will say that maple bars were a little bit part of that in the morning 7 a.m. meetings. Those there will know what I'm talking about. Our Public Works Department is actually the largest in the state of Idaho, and they work hard to support our community. Last year, we saw the installation of 11 miles of new streets, 12 miles of pressurized irrigation lines, 14 miles of domestic water lines, 10 miles of sanitary sewer lines. Our streets division chip sealed 28 miles this summer and filled 155 potholes. And you know what? We are tracking because those are the things that our citizens are talking about, right? They're talking about potholes and a number of things. So we are tracking, and we're going to continue to deliver on that. Winter is coming, and our crews are already preparing for our snow response. They have an excellent snow plan in place, and I am just so proud of them with the work that they do. And there is a lot more that we could talk about. We have this amazing Public Works magazine. You can go online and download it on our website, and I think there may be a QR code for it. If not, you can find it on our website, but it talks about all the work that our Public Works department does, and it's pretty amazing. Okay, so let's talk roundabouts. So the overdue, this is one that's opening soon. It was scheduled to be open right now, which is the Idaho Center and Cherry Roundabout. You know, one thing that I know is that when we have to close for construction, it impacts business. And this one has, and it is late for a couple of reasons, but it is going to be opening soon. I will say, you know, the horses you see there, we're following, that will be in the middle of this roundabout, and we're following kind of the theme that Highway District 1 began a number of years when they started putting artwork, metal artwork in the middle of the roundabout, so we've continued that theme here. But this one right now is delayed because of lights that have not arrived. And so my first question was, did we order them in a timely fashion to, right? The answer is yes. well in advance, outside the scope of the contract, so that they would be here on time, and they're still delayed. And that's where sometimes those supply chain issues impact us in a negative way. So it's coming. Another exciting thing that happened this last year was that we opened Fire Station 6, and I see our fire team out there. You know what, this is a huge accomplishment because this is the first fire station since 2007. That's 16 years, and you know how much growth took place. So in September of this year, the first full month of service, Station 6 responses accounted for 15% of the total Nampa Fire District call volume. Stations 1, 2, and 4 have historically been providing and responding to those calls. The increased presence in the southwest area has reduced the aggregate response time by 1 minute and 9 seconds. And for those of you that understand health, right, on the medical side, and our firefighters certainly do, 1 minute and 9 seconds can make the difference between life and death. So this is an amazing accomplishment. I just really appreciate the hard work of our Nampa Fire Department leadership team, and it's exciting to see that this is open and the great work that they're doing. And we're going to continue to measure response times. And thank you for your work. Before we move to what's new, the last thing I want to mention is the former Hispanic Cultural Center is now fully back in the hands of the city. The legal process, I will say, has been lengthy and slow, but as of about last week, it is officially done. So taking over the facility, just so everyone knows, is not something really that the city had intended to do. But due to numerous citizens and citizens within the Hispanic community specifically asking us to intervene, we knew it was time to ensure that the facility did not fall into further disrepair and could actually fulfill the original vision of being a thriving hub for training and for numerous cultural activities. After meetings with a number of community groups, several opportunities have been identified. And one thing that we did hear was the desire for access to the building, resources to be provided out of that building, and educational classes. So we are moving forward we're looking forward to hosting additional meetings, and we will be making some decisions in the immediate future on that particular building and how it's going to function in the future. So, okay, so what's new? So we have a water tower. This is the stuff that it's like, okay, we got to tell you guys this, but bear with me. So we have a new water tower coming because somebody's going to say, where did the water tower go, right? So our former water tower is going down. We have a new water tower coming. The former water tower needed repair, and it also needed capacity. And so it only held about 500,000 gallons. The new water tank holds 1.5 million gallons of water. It does set it at grade because it was more cost effective to do that. So that, you know, that tower is kind of an icon. So, and we started this process years ago, several years ago, and we're just now getting it done. And so I'm not sure what we're doing with the old tower, but we'll let you know. Okay, so creating a sustainable irrigation system. I love the look of this. And so the city of Nampa, we're gonna have the first reuse facility in the state of Idaho to recycle highly treated wastewater for use in a pressurized irrigation system. And so we appreciate the partnership with Pioneer Irrigation, and we look forward to initially adding between 11 and 14 millions of gallons of water a day into our irrigation system. And you know, when we say highly treated, this is clean water. It's Class A water when it's done, and it goes into our irrigation canals, and it supplements that surface water instead of it just not being used. So it was used, and it went down Indian Creek. I have to say, no, Amy says don't, I won't. Okay, you know, wisdom prevails, and I love that. Okay, so at full capacity, eventually 21 million gallons of water will actually be available. Some of it for reuse in a work environment, but also for our pressurized irrigation system. So, okay, roundabouts. For those that love more road construction, the Midland and Iowa roundabout is anticipated to begin in February. And so we are going to do a phased closure. We want to keep it open during the school year, and then it will be fully closed in the summer so that the construction can move a little bit faster. And then we'll hope to have it done by mid-August so that we can be ready for school. So a couple more, Franklin and Karcher. That is being funded by ITD and LTAC, and it's anticipated to begin in this coming spring. And then Northside and Cherry Roundabout is a partnership with Nampa Highway District 1, and it's expected to start in the spring. And one interesting note about it is it's the first concrete roundabout, which has a longer lifespan and will help with the heavy commercial traffic in that area. Okay, so as we all know, well, we may not know, Nampa's airport terminal really needs to be replaced. And so there is an FAA grant process, and we have applied twice. And we've been denied twice, and so we've applied now a third time. We have changed the scope of the project and look forward to hopefully this time getting grant funding so that we can replace this terminal. So, I think about the Tower Grill that we all love. How many people love the Tower Grill? Yep. I can't wait to have a new location for that, but we've got to get the funding. So, but speaking of the airport, for 33 years, the Warhawk Air Museum has focused its mission to educate visitors about the cost of freedom and to honor those who paid its price. The museum, yep. The museum has welcomed over 500,000 visitors since it's opened in 1989. It's a sacred place to preserve, honor, and educate our community about our veterans' histories, but more importantly, it's a place of sharing and healing. The global war on terror was America's longest war, and the Warhawk Air Museum is honored to announce plans to expand the museum and recognize those veterans. The 37,000 square foot expansion and state-of-the-art renovation will be designed to not only preserve and honor the history of the global war on terror, but also to serve as a gathering place for the military community and civilian visitors to heal, celebrate, and honor and learn. The Warhawk Air Museum is proud to be a part of Nampa. As I read this, we are proud to have the Warhawk Air Museum part of our community. And we're just grateful for the community's support for this as they continue their mission. I'm thankful for Sue and John Paul and their dedication to documenting history of this nation, of our citizens, through the archiving of the individual stories and the aircraft and the historical displays. And Sue's here today, so I just want to give Sue, I lost track of where you're sitting. There you go. Thank you so much for your work. Carson is new there with Sue, and so he's here also today. But Friday at 11, they've invited us all to join them for their groundbreaking. So it is out there right close to where the Warhawk Air Museum is. So Friday at 11, please feel free to join. Okay, another new thing is an integrated command center was developed, and it's in process here, as a joint effort with multiple internal departments with a goal to better serve citizens and visitors of Nampa. The purpose of this integrated command center is to utilize technology and analytics to make our roads and our communities safer. We know that public safety and traffic congestion are the two top priorities for Nampa residents. This system actually addresses both of those citizen concerns. The integrated command center is comprised of a traffic management center, a real-time crime center, emergency operations center, and a crime analysis unit. The majority of the construction and renovation of the workspace is complete with only a few minor projects yet pending. It's a wonderful example of stewardship where we put multiple functions into one environment to reduce costs and enhance communication and collaboration within the city. The resources include advanced traffic monitoring cameras, real-time data feeds, dynamic messaging signs, and sophisticated traffic management software. Skilled operators and traffic engineers work in tandem with these tools, analyzing data, adjusting traffic signals, and coordinating incident responses to optimize traffic flow. Each workstation is capable of transmitting and receiving radio traffic to quickly and effectively communicate with officers and dispatch as needed. The system will also increase safety at schools and in the public buildings. From a public safety standpoint, I have to share a couple of success stories. So last year, the Nampa Police Department actually caught 3 traveling theft rings that just happened to come through our city. And I just like to say, you know what? I hate the fact that they came through, but it's so good they did, because you know what? You don't want to mess with Nampa. It's my opinion. So one of the rings was actually stealing things from Home Depot, and we recovered over $200,000 worth of just different things, property that we could confiscate and actually get returned. The other one was, and I don't remember, there's a third one, but the other one you guys may be familiar with because they hit Nampa Taste of Idaho, right? Our Taste of Idaho event, they broke 5 or 6 different windshields. You know, but because they came through and we were able to identify those vehicles, we actually caught them. One of them actually, I think, accidentally ran into a tree somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. But the other 2 were caught when they were actually returning their rental car to get on a plane to go to Florida, where they were going to come back across the United States doing the same thing across our entire country. You know how many people's lives and the inconvenience was averted because of the great work of Nampa PD and the technology that we have? It's also been instrumental in a homicide specific, a couple of different situations that have happened. And it's allowed us to arrest somebody without incident. So it gives us that edge that's really important. Another great thing I just want to mention is that with the implementation of our CompStat program, our Part 1 crimes are down 37% over 5 years. That's a big deal. And I just want to say thank you to our police leadership team, to our officers. I appreciate their core values of excellence, integrity, teamwork. Thank you. And I think I just messed that up, but thank you guys. We appreciate your work. Okay, moving forward with what's new. So on the economic development side, last year I mentioned that Stowe Company was going to be opening. Well, they did open with their new facility with over 230 manufacturing jobs and other suppliers that are going to be coming in with them. It's over 550,000 square foot building in the Adler Midland Industrial Park. You know, and Mike Adler's not with us today, but I appreciate his investment, and I really appreciate his willingness to work with us. I smile because I had this idea that we need to enhance our design standards on our industrial buildings. And some of our developers were like, that's kind of, yeah, that they worked with us. And so that our industrial buildings look beautiful. And so that's a direction that we want. We have these new industrial buildings and we want them to look nice. We want them to look nice 20 years from now. And so Mike Adler did that, and I so appreciated that. And so did LDK, specifically Serini. I haven't seen him here today, who's been great to work with. You know, working with certain, there are people that work with this that constantly reach out and say, okay, we need to do this, you need to do that. Let's have discussions, right? Because it's difficult what they're doing, and it makes us better, right? It makes us all better, and so I love that. Anyway, and then Bow River, River Range, Sawtooth, and LBA Industrial have all made investments. You know, our goal is to be a full-service community where people live, work, and play. So bringing industry actually reduces the residential taxes, and it produces high-paying jobs, and that's our focus. And we want to provide an opportunity for people to get to live in the community where they work, or work in the community where they live, whichever way I should have just said that. The other expansion that's going on today is Matern. They are completing a 200,000 square foot expansion. Matern is the home to Go-Go Squeeze, just so you know. And they have such incredible consumer demand that they are doing an expansion on their line. And you know what I love about it is that they get their fruit right here. They would get all of their fruit here, but we aren't producing enough right now, so they still have to go to Washington. But that's the kind of business we want because it's integrated together and it supports our amazing agricultural heritage, which is so important. Okay, so the next thing, In-N-Out Burger is coming to Nampa, which is great. We don't have an opening date, but you may be interested to know a lot of people were concerned about traffic. And so they are going to be adding an entrance on Merchant Way to help with traffic flow. And so that's pretty exciting. And then District 208. You know, how many of you remember the former Karcher Mall, right? Well, I tell you what, I want to say Sanjeev with Rhino Development is the one that has taken the risk on the changes that have taken place there. And it's going to be beautiful. The apartments, we've got 252 new apartments. The first phase is done, and they're lovely apartments. And I know people don't like high density, but I want to say there are places for high density because we need to grow in and not grow out. We need to preserve our ag ground. And where you have apartments and high density are the locations that you have quick access to the freeway. You have walking distance to stores and to grocery stores. You have easy access to public transportation. This is one of those locations. And it is going to have a new facelift. The new retail includes the Boot Barn, Tropical Smoothies, DD's Discount, Big Five Sporting Goods, and the Shoe Department. And then Starbucks is going to be relocated to a different pad on that same site to give a little bit better accessibility. So anyway, it's great to see the changes taking place there. All that said, there is more that I could share, but I'm going to let you, if you can, come next month to the Economic Forum, and our Economic Development Director, Robin Sellers, will share more, and then Mike Pena, who always shares the latest stats for the community of Nampa. And so I encourage you to buy your tickets now because it usually sells out, so it's going to be wonderful. Okay, let's talk about downtown Nampa, because everybody wants to know, what are we doing? So I want to start by thanking the Nampa Development Corporation, who created several incentive programs, and they were to support the redevelopment of downtown. We have over 10 new businesses that have moved into downtown this past year, and there's more to come. An expansion of Mesa Tacos, the addition of Still Ice Cream Shop, and the renovation that is underway of the former bookstore, which is going to be a mixed-use building, is really exciting. I'm thrilled to see the new facelift that's happening there. And also, it's called the Syringa Lounge and Coffee, and it's opening soon, and it's kind of that picture at the top. It's going to be beautiful, and it's on 12th between 2nd and 1st Street. I would also like to thank Derek Cooper, and I think Derek's here. I'm sorry, I'm going to do a call out. Do you want to wave, Derek? I'm sorry, I'm not letting you be invisible. So. He's smiling. Derek grew up in Nampa, and I have so appreciated his creativity and his investment in our downtown. And so these buildings are projects that Derek's been personally involved in, but many more. This is just a couple. And you know what? It's been a game changer for downtown. Sometimes it's people that are willing to take risks and that are vested, and I've appreciated that. Thank you, Derek. And then the former Nampa Floors building was purchased by Jeremy Hefner, who's also here today. If you want to wave, you don't have to. You can just smile. Yeah, and Jeremy also grew up in Nampa. And you know what I love? He's wanting to make a difference in his hometown. And so he purchased this building, and anyway, this is going to be home to First Federal Bank, and then he has some other exciting tenants that we can't announce, but it's going to be wonderful, the work that is being done. And so, Jeremy, I just wanted to thank you. Thank you for your commitment to our community. Thank you both. And then on the back of this building, if you haven't already seen it, this beautiful new mural to honor the Dewey Palace and Nampa's history is wonderful, so you're going to have to go check it out. But we also have murals going up on Wall Street. This is an alley that we're creating a connection between 3rd Street and 1st Street. And I want to thank Adam Hutchings, the Downtown Nampa Community Association, the Historic Preservation Committee, and the Nampa Development Corporation for their collaboration on this initiative. And stay tuned because they just started this week. So you're going to see them just getting done in the coming weeks, which is awesome. Okay, something else that's new. College of Western Idaho. Gordon, it's good to see you here. Thank you for being here. So they're excited to begin work on these new buildings and facilities on the main campus. And it's going to create opportunities for the more than 30,000 students they serve. Isn't that incredible? I love it. The Health and Sciences building is going to open in the fall of 25. This is phase 1, and it's going to serve CWI's most in-demand programs, including nursing, biology, and medical assistance programs. Then the agricultural science and horticultural buildings are going to be beginning opening in the fall of 25 also. And then the Student Learning Hub will be opening in the fall of 26. I am so thrilled to see this development happening. I really appreciate the work of the CWI team. Thank you guys for all your work. This is great to have it in Nampa. And I'm also thankful that not only do we have CWI, but we have Northwest Nazarene University here in our community. So what a wonderful thing to have two amazing higher educational institutions right here in our community. It's awesome. A couple of things that I just want to mention before we move on to another part of this program. Currently, there are a group of community advocates and volunteers organized by the Nampa Chamber of Commerce Tourism Committee, and they're working to get an auditorium district ballot on the ballot in May of 2024. So Boise's operated an auditorium district for I don't know how many years, but well over 25 years. And they've had a significant impact on tourism and the economy. Well, Nampa's auditorium district, those fees will only be collected by those staying in Nampa hotels. And you know, if this had been passed 10 years ago, we probably would have had over $11 million available for the improvements like to the Fort Idaho Center or any expansions here with the Civic Center. And so please be watching for opportunities to be educated on this important funding tool for our community. And please remember that the fees are only paid, or that tax is only paid by those staying in the hotels. And then we are going to be hosting a Nampa Citizen Academy, and I'm really excited about that. It's going to begin in January, and it'll be on Tuesday evenings, and you can go online and find out more, but we are accepting applications right now. And then I know we all love surveys, but we have 2 more surveys that are out. One is a partnership with AARP to help us improve Nampa as a place to retire and as an age-friendly community. And then the other one is Nampa's housing survey, which will provide a 360-degree view of housing in Nampa. We're going to evaluate housing from a residential, small business, large business perspective related to needs. And we're looking at what the mix of housing is currently in our community, housing units versus the jobs and what the needs of those employees are. Okay, so what are the challenges that we face as a community? There are a couple of them. Public safety is a challenge, congestion, housing affordability. So we talked a little bit about what we're doing on the public safety side. We talked about what we're doing on the congestion side. We are working, and touched on housing affordability, and then funding is another challenge. Nampa's not a wealthy city. We do not have the same kind of budget that Meridian and Boise does. I'll just be candid. And so we are constantly looking at stewardship and how to make it all work and to provide the services. But as I think about challenges we face as a community, some, if not many, are the result of global issues that impact local communities. So think about the pandemic. Global issue, had a major impact on every local community. Think about inflation, supply chain issues, the cost of goods, labor costs that have risen at an incredibly fast pace. To lay 1 mile of pipe in the ground as a city used to be $1 to $2 million, now it's $10 million. That is significant change, and that's a global impact. To retain employees as the city and to ensure city services are provided is much more difficult today. And then there's the border crisis. So, you know, we talk about the border crisis, but there's real impact at our local community because our open border is causing an increase in the fentanyl and drug trafficking, and it's substantial. Our drugs and crimes associated with drug trafficking keep our law enforcement extremely busy. So fentanyl, as you can see on this slide, seizures of fentanyl have increased substantially in the past couple of years. Overdose deaths are continuing to rise, and our young people are the target of the drug dealers. Did you know that 6 out of 10 pills contain a fatal amount of fentanyl? Since January 1st, we've responded to 176 overdoses. 17 are confirmed as drug overdoses, but unfortunately, most drug overdose deaths are not documented as such. It just has to do with some of the regulatory side. So I'm pleased to say that we have excellent collaboration between local agencies and municipalities. And we have some of the best officers and detectives working to serve this community, and the communication between the agencies is key, but we're doing a really good job and we're to be commended. An additional challenge that we face are judges that are not imposing proper sentencing for crimes and too many plea deals for serious offenders. While we're making progress here, there's still a lot of work to be done. And I will say that our police team is often dealing with the same offenders multiple times. Funding for police has been severely impacted, and it really has to do with some state legislation. Our citizens have told us clearly they want growth to fund growth. Yet recent legislation has limited our ability to collect new construction revenue, and that's what funds our police department. So, as a city, our responsibility is to ensure our citizens have the services that they expect: clean water, wastewater services, good streets, stormwater infrastructure, and public safety services. We strive to keep taxes and fees low without sacrificing services. So how do we do that? So we will continue to stretch every dollar. We will continue to be innovative in all that we do, and we'll continue to seek out private and public partnerships. But the city can't do it alone. And so it's through collaboration and working with our community to focus on those things that are truly important to our community. So what is really important? Well, our Healthy Impact Nampa Coalition has been working actively to meet the needs of our city in 6 areas: housing affordability and stable housing, access to transportation, food access, healthy youth and healthy schools, mental health and substance abuse, and safe, stable, and nurturing families. I would like to introduce you to some of the leaders of this coalition and let them share with you a little bit more about the work that's being done. And as we watch this video, please be listening, because you may want to get involved in one of these key areas.
We live in a really amazing community, but it doesn't mean that we still don't have challenges. We all know that. We're seeing more challenges increase across every community, and it's also happening right here. This work is so necessary because it serves to pull stakeholders together around data that we've seen within healthcare, data the city has seen, and data that folks from other sectors have also seen, so it's really confirming. But what it's going to require is all hands on deck. It's going to really create an opportunity for the village to lean in, come together, and really look at the opportunities.
Hi, I'm Matt Jameson, and I'm a co-chair of the Housing Affordability and Stable Housing Pillar. In order for a community to be healthy, it has to have people who are both stably and affordably housed. The City of Nampa has a wide variety of people in our community. They have different needs as far as housing. They have different income levels. And I think it's important that we try to meet our community and meet the needs of our community, whether it be multifamily or single-family housing. Currently, there's a lot of data that we can use to help us inform and drive decisions that we might make, or things that we can do, part of which will be to take that data and help it inform an annual housing forum that we would organize in an effort to try to take all the people that can make a difference in housing, synthesize all this information that we know we have, and hopefully out the other end will become something that we can take action on, and we can create a plan to move the housing needle forward in a way that makes housing attainable to all Nampa residents.
Hello, my name is Mark Stoyer, and I am chairing the Access to Transportation Subcommittee. So yeah, transportation not only includes fixed route bus services, but also on-demand type transportation services to our senior community, and also others with certain disabilities that are a challenge for them to get around the city. It's important because as we grow, we also grow in amenities. We have more hospitals, more places of medical care, more senior community type places also as well. So we need to make sure that those individuals can get there in a safe and an efficient manner.
I am Mari Ramos, and I am co-chairing the Food Access Committee with Brent Peterson. Food access is a broad spectrum, from emergency food needs to even a neighborhood market for all of those that don't have access to transportation to get to the market, so they can buy other things other than shelf-stable food that can make a big difference in their health overall. So it really starts with these food issues. We want to ensure that when we provide resources, that when we provide ideas for solutions, we want to ensure that the voices of this community are really being heard and we're offering what it is that they need.
Hi, I am Greg Russell, Superintendent of the Nampa School District, and I'm overseeing Nampa's Healthy Youth and Healthy Schools Committee. I think our youth are our future. They really are the future of our community and future of Nampa. And I think when we are purposeful about trying to provide the things our youth need, it's going to be a better future and it creates a better community. I think one thing that's special about Nampa is we've always had a heart for kids, and there are so many folks in our community and entities in our community that really love children and try to help them. I think one of the goals of our community is to align that work around two strategic areas. One is to make sure that every child has an adult that cares for them, that we can ensure that they have access to that. And the second one is something that's so vital to families, and that's to have care for children either before school or after school. And so that's where our community has really focused our work on.
My name is Jacob Evans, and I'm a co-chair on the Mental Health and Substance Misuse Committee. So in our community of Nampa, we're seeing an uprise in people struggling with mental health and substance misuse issues. We're seeing an increase in people that are suffering from opioid-related death. We're also seeing a greater response from our EMS. And the committee exists to try to alleviate some of the burden that we're experiencing as a committee, provide a solution and answers to the family that are struggling, and then provide a beacon of hope and guidance for people who are attempting to go through the recovery process. So what we're seeing is that there's an immense amount of amazing work that's being done, but we need to pull and synthesize that work together to help provide a full wraparound care and service for individuals. And that's not just the crisis situations, that's also the preventative situations to ensure that we're not in this situation for the next 10 years moving forward.
Hi, my name is Keith Wagner, and I am the chair of the Safe, Stable, and Nurturing Family Subcommittee. Now, our goal with our committee is to inspire and activate ordinary people to be extraordinary neighbors, because we're convinced that healthy neighborhoods lead to healthy families. Actually, I think the families are just at the foundation of what makes a community great. I think a lot of times when we see dysfunction in our communities, we can actually trace it back to families that are trying to break the generation of dysfunction. And if we can invest in families, if we can lead them to healthy places, it's not just going to change the home, it's going to change our city.
Our ask is simple. We need you. We need all of you. Every person in this community matters. We're committed to making sure that we're addressing the needs from the youngest in our community to the oldest in our community and everybody in between. Whether that's education with the business to workforce pipeline that the Nampa Chamber really helps cultivate, whether that's through the city, creating spaces and places in this community where people want to come and live and work and raise their family. I'm hopeful that each of us leans in and we inspire our own kids to want to live here and be the next generation that picks up this work and continues it so that their kids want to live, work, play, and raise their family here. Nampa's amazing. Help us be part of the solution.
You know, I'm inspired when I watch that. And you know what, we can only be a safe and healthy community where people prosper when we work together. And I just so appreciate the leaders and community members that are leaning in to make a difference. So as I think about community and our youth, and this is a time I want to recognize just a couple people really quickly, I think of the great work that's done at the Boys and Girls Club. And I want to thank Melissa Gentry and her entire team for the amazing work. Melissa, are you here? I'm not sure where you are. Claire in the back. Yeah. I tell you, I'm so impressed with the work that gets done there every day, making a difference. Donna Shines is not here today, but many of you are familiar with the Mentoring Network and the difference that is being made in those kids' lives where someone takes time to be a mentor to a young person. Pastor Chris Evanson, Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I think he's here. I'm not sure where. Oh, there you are. Hey. So they recently opened Lifting Lives, which is a community resource center on Iowa in the former St. Alphonsus building, and it has an amazing community resource center. Thank you. Thank you. The Grace Center is a new counseling center right on 12th Avenue. Their primary focus is ensuring that minority residents have access to basic needs and to legal help, such as immigration advising and educational options. And I just want to personally thank Edgar Nunez, who could not be with us today, for his service to supporting the immigrants as they work through this process. And then we mustn't forget, like the Nazarene Care Center and all the other food banks across our community that are doing such great work. And then Just Serve is also another organization that they have many projects that they do across our community, and I appreciate them also, the partnership between Just Serve and the Boy Scouts as they conduct their food drives. There are so many more amazing people and organizations in our community, and I just want to say thank you all for your commitment to our community and to positively impacting lives, and I want to applaud you. Thank you. Watching this clock. Okay, here we go. So this is last but very important, and this is special. I want you to meet somebody that has been an inspiration to me. Approximately 3 years ago, there was a tragic accident at the corner of Roosevelt and Midland. I'll try not to be teary here. You know what? A little girl's life was lost that day, and her name was Cayenne. But I've had the opportunity to meet her mom, Kyla. And I tell you what, she is with us today, and I'm not sure where she is. There we go. She's right over here on this side. Kyla's inspired me with her amazing grace, her ability to move forward after experiencing a very tragic situation, her selfless attitude and desire to positively impact others' lives is inspirational. So I'd like to pause for a moment and let you watch a short video.
Cayenne was my fifth of 7 children. She would be 7 now, and she was 4 when she passed away. Yeah, lucky number 7. From the time she was born, we kind of knew she was special, and she was a fireball. And she loved harder and bigger and more aggressive than most. So she was one of those kids that she would go to give you a hug and she would, squeeze you and grit her teeth and you'd be like, whoa, 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 It was just, she just loved you so much. She would put everything into it. And I think that's probably what I miss the most about her, is probably those hugs. But she was the light that lit up this house, and it's now kind of starting to light up this town, so it's pretty cool. One thing that I can tell you that probably most parents who lose a child at any age's fear is that they will be forgotten or that they passed away for no reason. And it's an honor to know that that's not even close to the case for Cayenne. I hope that losing her will make it to where it'll save other children's lives, where there's parents that don't have to say goodbye to their children. That's where this comes in. And I'm glad I'm a part of it. And I'm glad that Cayenne is kind of helping push it along. So yeah, I'm proud. I'm really proud of her.
So as I think of Kyla's resilience, it reminds me of Ron Price. Many of us know Ron Price. He wrote a book a number of years ago called Freedom to Choose. And that principle, we all get to choose. We all have the freedom to choose how we respond to the things that come our way in life. Kyla made an important and wonderful choice, not to harbor bitterness or sorrow, but to make a difference in the lives of others. After meeting with 2 Nampa residents, Kelly Rich and Chrissy Whitworth, we have come up with an initiative called Remember Our Children. And it's to create awareness of pedestrian safety with a goal to save lives. We've already made changes in our traffic signals here in the community of Nampa due to this, and we've produced 2 videos to remind drivers and pedestrians to pay attention and avoid distracted driving. Let's take a minute and we're going to watch both of those videos. You know, our work is just beginning. And as we continue, we will continue to raise awareness in pedestrian safety and carry on the legacy of Cayenne. Thank you so much for your commitment and making a difference and moving forward. So as I close today, you know, I've thought of a number of things, but I want to share just a couple of thoughts. So we live in turbulent times. It's an interesting time in history, and we talked a little bit about global issues that impact us locally. So you know what, there's some major issues going on in our world today, right? And I would encourage us to pray for Israel, right? To pray for that entire region, because there are a lot of people whose lives are impacted, many of them innocent people. But that could turn into a global issue that could impact us all greatly. The question is, when the storms come our way, what do we do with them? How do we respond to them? I heard a story recently, and I wanted to share it with you today, and many of you have maybe heard it. It's actually the difference between a buffalo and a cow. So when there's a storm, it's interesting how animals can sense a storm even before we do as humans. They sense it coming. And the cows have a tendency to turn and put their back to the storm, and they walk away from it. Sometimes they run with it. Unfortunately, what happens is the storm usually overcomes them, and they're in the storm longer because they've turned their back to the storm. Buffaloes do it very differently. A buffalo instinctively turns into the storm. They face the storm head on. I've heard the story of where the buffalo actually will literally run into the storm. By doing so, they're in the storm shorter, right? But as I think about the storms of life, which one do you want to be? I not only want to be, but I have chosen, I'm going to be a buffalo. I am going to turn head on into that storm and face that storm. We as a city of Nampa are going to face whatever storm comes head on. We're going to be prepared. We have a responsibility to protect our citizens. We have a responsibility to be thinking in advance, right? That's something that we're doing every day. We're doing it in our emergency preparedness. But as I think about this, and I heard this story, I wanted to share it with you today and ask you, which one do you want to be? Kyla chose to be a buffalo. She chose, yes, I can see that. She chose to face life head on. And you know what? I love this story and the example. And so as I close today, I just want to challenge you to join me. We have such an amazing community, and I want to tell you, it is my honor to serve you, the citizens of this community. We have a great community, and it's because of the people, it's because of the collaborations, it's because we have a strong community that wants to make a difference. and we're just gonna go head on into whatever comes our way. So I just want to close and say thank you again for coming today. Thank you for your commitment to our community. One thing that comes to mind when I think of the chamber and this group of people is that, you know how it's said, and you can come on up, Mitch, that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. I think we have 20% of those people here today that do 80% of the work. So thank you. And I also want to take a minute to say thank you to our sponsors. I so appreciate our sponsors, their generous support, making a difference, and helping support our Mayor's Teen Council. So thank you again for being here today. And you know what? I think I'm on time. Thank you. Come on up here.
I told her to stay up here. I can boss the mayor around now that I have the mic. Well, there's no question you are a Buffalo, and you're our Buffalo. And I was sitting over there and standing back here and looking at 350 people, leaders of the community look at you, and there's no greater leader for Nampa right now. So thank you for being our mayor. Thank you for who you are. And thank you for all that you do. Don't go anywhere. Real quick, final announcements, and then we're going to end with something really cool. It was mentioned earlier by the Mayor's Teen Council, go vote. There's a lot of important decisions. Local decisions make local impact. We have our school board. I see our friends from Nampa School District. I see our friends from Valley View School District. Both of those have board seats up. Our city council votes, 2, 4, and 6, very, very important. So be educated. Jill's done a lot of work on our website, and I know that there's one on the city too, but the Nampa Chamber has a voter's guide. You can go to that. You can see the bios on everybody. You can see links and information about where to vote, how to vote, which district you live in, and all of that. So please get yourself educated and go vote on that. I love the story about Kyla. That's extra special. I don't know how you made it through that, Mayor, without getting your allergies all flared up. Yeah, again, lots going on. Watch for emails coming from the chamber. Mayor teed it up, but Mike Pena, I know he had a conflict today. He couldn't be here, but Edward Jones and Collier's, that'll be here before you know it. November 15th is the economic forum, so you'll hear from Robin and the rest of the team on that. But lots going on right now. We said we would start on time and end on time, and Chief Huff would probably tase me if we go to 1:01 anyway. But we are going to end kind of cool today. I heard from a little birdie that tomorrow is somebody's birthday. I think it's her 21st birthday. Right. 21st birthday. So maybe we will end when we're done singing happy birthday to our mayor. You guys are excused and you're appreciated. So Gene, can you come kick us off? My contract does not allow me to sing. Gene will kick us off. Let's sing happy birthday to our mayor.
Thanks, Mitch. Quickly before we do that. Remember, our children's trying to raise a lot of money for some art that will commemorate Kyan and the life, the significant impact she had in 4 years, and it will continue on and on. So please talk to Kyla. Raise your hand over there. If you have any interest in being a part of that. And also, I think, as Pastor Wagner said, there's nobody in this audience today who is not extraordinary for whatever reasons, that you choose to lean in. You're here today because you chose to be here, we hope. It was great to hear that the state of Nampa is good. But I think we need to challenge each other more and more and more as we grow and things get more difficult. I work at St. Luke's in the hospital, and I encounter our cashiers often. And they'll say, well, I'm just a cashier. You are not just an anything. You may be in that role the only smile, the only happy thing that happens to that person that day. It can literally be that simple. So please don't ever diminish the role that you have, your capacity to go from ordinary to extraordinary because you care so deeply. As the mayor said, that is truly what makes Nampa the best place to live, raise, grow our kids, and hopefully inspire them to be here. So thank you to all of you extraordinary humans. Continue to go forth and do amazing things. But let's start by singing happy birthday to our mayor. And then please network for a little bit. It's really important. You've got really amazing, extraordinary people here today. So let's stand up and we're gonna do a big whoop when we, yes, okay. So well deserved. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.